Everybody has their own idea of success. In my head, it's owning my options. I love to, have the opportunity to come in and have great conversations with people, and be decide what I want to do with my day. If it's sit on my ass and watch a movie, you know what, I can't do it. Why? Because I own my options, and nothing's gonna break, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. The sky is not gonna fall, and nobody's gonna scream at me. I own my options, right? That's my idea of success.
Can you do that? I can't do that.
Absolutely.
You can sit and watch TV all day?
Oh, no, not that. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the patience.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
But the fact of owning our options, in my head, that's success. And I leverage that. I mean, there's a lot of things that fall into it. It's empowerment of the team. To me, one of the things that brings me the most joy and just livens me up is it's to empower somebody else, not just inspire. Inspiration goes away after a workout, but when you empower somebody to actually take action and then help them see the potentiality that's within them,
right?
You're changing somebody else's life, and then you have no idea what that ripple effect is going to have after that.
Right.
It's one of the things I do with my students. One of the things I do with anybody who comes into my teams. And in my team meetings, we usually discuss tactics and business status for the first 45 minutes, and then the rest hour and a half it's top threes, which is personal goals, it's a gratitude, that sort of thing, and it's really working on the mindset, because that's 80% of the success.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed like a couple things. One is your mindset or your attitude, like you're always positive. I'll come back to that. Like I want to touch on like what I heard, as far as what I extracted, what it takes to be successful. And that is like, I heard the catalyst, which really was turning into hyper focus, right?
Oh yeah.
So extreme focus, and sacrifice. So you work an 8-hour job, and I did very similar. Like I'd work a job and then I'd do my stuff on the side. It depends, like as you shift and go through things. But anyway,
that's temporary. I mean, it's not gonna last forever.
Yeah. So that 4 hours, that's your sacrifice. So I had a mentor come and talk to the group, and I always say, like, you want to be successful, do two things: do what you say you're going to do, and then outwork the next person. Right? Just you do those two things, I promise you're gonna go far. The third thing kind of goes in line with outwork the next person, but it's really that sacrifice, and that's something that you touched on, because you're sacrificing your time to build your dream. It's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. That's where I think it becomes hard for people to get their mind around, because they don't see that instant paycheck. But if they stick with it, everybody that I've seen stick with it, if they have a process that they could follow and just continue doing, at some point it's going to click, which then we could talk about, like, one thing that ends up happening, like you talk about, like, as you take action, you met someone and pivoted. Really what's happening is you're building your network, and as you build your network, more and more doors open and those opportunities start coming to you. Like the biggest thing I've seen in real estate that keeps people from success is action. So that action and getting out and networking, once you start having people that have common interest, right? And have been there, done that, and even people that are coming up with good energy, that kind of fuels you, and you're able to move into that space even easier. So having something that they could jump on a call, like a weekly call,
right? And
then how many of those people are moving up the rung at the same time? And then you have this guy that did 3 at once. But could you imagine, like, what if he quit early? Like, so many of these things are unrewarding in the beginning, right? Until you start to have that success. So that sticking with the process and believing in yourself, and then being part of maybe a community or a group, being able to tap into that, I think is so important. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and having that support group, it's imperative, because one way I think about it is like you're a battery, right? And if you're just a battery on your own, you'll run out of juice. So you need a generator, alternator to kind of refuel. And that's your support group and that network that you tap into to keep your battery going and keep you from, fizzling out. So it's a key piece. Like I know people talk about grow your network, you'll grow your net worth. That's a real thing, you guys. Like you are who you hang out with. And so you may find that some of the people that you're working with or close with and friends, you may need to change up some of that stuff or just keep those pieces from them and just go start doing you. But if you have a catalyst like you had, and a lot of people, when they have a have to, like they don't have a choice, they're backed into a corner, that's when real change happens. But you could force that and make that happen for yourself, lean yourself off of that 9 to 5 by working, outside those hours and build that up, or get your car repoed and have to go like that and make it happen. So
it's decisions get easier when you're in extreme survival mode.
Yeah, this is true.
it's really what happened. I mean, for example, in my case, it wasn't. I had an idea of the vision that I wanted to go. Or the direction that I wanted to go in, right? So I left the firehouse, I did my thing, and I was building something, as far as the business, the transportation business, but it was, like I knew I was going to be okay. And then the second everything just, closed off on me and I started choking, gasping for air, I got on extreme survival mode. What happened? Like all the results just sped up. Yeah. I mean, it's insane the stuff that you will find yourself with the ability to do when you're in survival mode, right? I think we can create that energy. To me, it was channeling the bad emotions, the feelings, the fear, all that stuff that was happening. The sense of guilt because like fuck, I did this. I have the family that I'm trying to start, and like, that's guilt, right? So I started channeling those into productive, activities and whatnot. And that's one way to do it, right? Another way to do it is to really craft and this is more of it may sound like a cliche, but just like the network is your net worth, it's real. Right. When you start crafting a vision of what you want and reverse engineer, I mean, start from the end, right? You figure out what you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to have, do, and the space that you want to be in 5 years, and then start reverse engineering from that. Things get a lot clearer. I think clarity is one of the biggest things too that stop people as they're going through the motions. Right. If you're not clear enough, you're gonna get analysis paralysis, and then your motivation and drive is gonna fade out. Get clear about where you want to be in 5 years, and then break it back from that.
Yeah, we say it, and I borrowed this. I heard it when I was younger, during my catalyst. Right, was a lot of people plan their vacations more than they plan their financial future, and that's such a real thing. Like, think about that. Yeah. You planned your vacation more than your future, which is kind of sad, but it's true. It's just the way our culture is. So
it's awareness, right?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is. Like being aware. What do you want?
Being aware that you can create the life by design if you just focus on certain things, like finances. Like you're gonna be, get smarter about this. I wasn't taught finances in school. I don't know if you were. It's a rhetorical question. Yes. So the awareness wasn't there. However, I want to go to Hawaii. I want to travel. I want to go to Disney World. I want to all those trips were part of the awareness.
Yeah, it also goes back to that whole thing. Like you're not gonna ask somebody who didn't build a computer how to build a computer. The reality is a lot of our teachers, unfortunately, don't have that piece as well, which anyways leads to a whole nother conversation because I think teachers should be paid more. And
absolutely.
I want to talk to you about what you're wearing on your wrist. Let's talk about that for a second. Are those mala beads?
These are energy centers, also known as chakras, right?
Okay.
But to me, it's a reminder. It's really a reminder. I have it's not I wake up in the morning and I do the same thing every morning, right?
A routine. Okay.
And the first thing I do is connect. I meditate, and this is a good reminder throughout the day to go back to my meditation thoughts from early in the morning. I have another one that literally reads "Believe." Right. So I'm driving. I drive with my left hand, and this thing is staring at me the whole time. the belief. It doesn't matter how successful you are or how badass of a coach or how great you're doing today. It's one of those things that it's on a gauge. It goes up, it goes down, it goes like a little roller coaster. And it's part of the process, just part of the process of reminding myself of the person who I am, the person who I want to be, right? But it is. I go into it. It's in the mornings I meditate. The first thing I do is it's connect. Sometimes that means sitting there and journaling and just spitting out my thoughts and then sitting in silence, counting my breath. I do a lot of breath work. And sometimes it's there and just being motionless, just sitting. For me, it's a very, very hard thing to do. I am not wired that way. I had to build up that strength because the second I sit down, I'm like, all right, I gotta send 17,000 emails. I gotta do this. I gotta close on that. I gotta send this paper. I gotta make sure this guy's doing that.
It's the way we've been rewired basically to make our attention spans shorter. So having something to counteract it's huge. Jim Quick talks a lot about it. I think he's a great guy.
I think the biggest thing that it sets me up for. Or the day, it's being taking action versus reaction. Really, if we don't give our thought process enough time or enough of a gap to have original thoughts and stimulate that original thinking, we're just going to be reacting to everything that's thrown at us. We're going to be reacting to the next email. We're going to be reacting to the next challenge. And there's got to be no in the fire department we used to call it pre-planning. You got to pre-plan for, if this particular building goes on fire, what's the pre-plan for it, right? And it's kind of like that. Meditation for me gives me that space of centeredness, if you may, and it really allows me to have that curiosity not die out, that original thinking, kick in and practice it,
right.
That creativity to come out and then do something with it, as opposed to just let it sleep and die.
Right. I think we've touched on a lot. I think we've definitely covered a lot today. But a lot of you guys watching, you thought, okay, hey, we're going to talk about real estate, which we did. But most of it was this real estate, which is the most important piece of real estate. So how do people get hold of you? Like if they want to follow you?
The easiest way, Instagram, I'm pretty active on Instagram. I have a bunch of stuff on there. It's Rafael Cortez, CEO. That's my handle. And then my YouTube channel. I'm always uploading videos and little bits and pieces on how to wholesale, strategy, tactics. I have 3 series on there: one in business, one in mindset, and then one in wholesaling.
Nice.
Along as well as the podcast. That's Rafael Cortez, CEO. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just under Rafael CEO. Yeah.
We'll post that here, so you guys could just click on the link below as well. I appreciate you coming in, joining, sharing these pearls, words of wisdom with us. And again, sometimes I just don't know where these are going to go, and this ended up going a lot in this piece of real estate, which I definitely am all for. So I appreciate the time, and again, awesome having you on.
Brother, thank you so much. It's been a blast. Appreciate it.
Thank you.